Remix. 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 Remix.
Try me.
Yo, yeah. Welcome out. This is the Remix Morning Show. Right here on Black Liberation Media. In case you didn't know, I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Thank y'all for tuning in for the win as we do it again. I gotta bring up my friend. In case you didn't know, she goes by the name of Jackie Lukeman.
Hey, that was a smooth vibe. Very D'Angelo-ish.
That was Jill Scott.
In the same genre. That's why it was very D'Angelo-ish.
She was just here this couple weekends ago. I was talking about her, Jill Scott. I was wondering. I was like, who I was trying to think about who I listen to now that's new. It's not too many. Cleo Soul, she's got like a nice soothing sound. Snow Allegra, and there's a couple other people, but it's not too many new people I listen to. I need to work on it.
Yeah, I don't listen to it. Yeah, I don't listen to anything new. I don't know what is new. I don't think I want to know what is new in any genre. But anyway, we didn't even say hey.
Hey, what's good? Hey. Yeah, I'm just listen. I'm working on my manners. How you doing today, Jackie?
How old are you?
50, I'll be 51 in November. 5 to 1.
Way past time for you to be working on some manners.
Is there an age where you stop learning?
No, there shouldn't be. I don't think there should be.
Right,
no, I'm still, trying to learn Spanish. So, and sign language. Yeah.
Really? Now, okay. Now I was gonna learn Spanish because I didn't like how I felt when I went to Miami.
What do you mean? You didn't like how you felt? Wait a minute.
Everybody was talking Spanish in Miami. I was like, I do not understand what's going on here, and y'all do. So I was like, I don't feel comfortable.
You felt left out.
Y'all talking right about me, and I'm just here like, K.
And they're laughing at you like that's the only word in Spanish that Bama know.
I know some curse words, but I wanted to make sure my food was straight, so I was like, all right, gracias.
Oh Lord.
So is it like that when you travel abroad? Do you run across a lot of foreign language, or I guess where you go to like Venezuela and places like that?
Yeah, so Cuba, Venezuela, Dominican Republic, China, obviously. Everybody speaks the language of their country, of their people. So, that's really what made me want to learn Spanish, because I took 3 years of French in high school for some odd reason. I don't know why. I
don't know why any of us does.
Forgot every bit of it, because who's French?
Exactly.
I lived in Southeast DC. I didn't get to practice that French with anybody.
Only right? French you know is fries.
Thank you. And so, I'm a kid. I'm not thinking about that. I'm not thinking strategically and the skills that I need to learn to commit. And I certainly didn't think that I would be traveling. You couldn't have told me as a teenager that I would be doing this. Any of this, having traveled to places I've traveled to. But yeah, now that I have traveled to some places, and not even, like everywhere, but just a few pretty important places, I didn't feel left out. I felt what is it?
Dumb?
I felt insufficient. Yeah, I felt like the ignorant American. I
Yeah,
really did.
yeah, yeah.
Yes,
That's
I
how I
and I
felt in
and I
Miami, and I
but I
was in
didn't
the.
feel like it was like intentional. There, I didn't feel like they were talking about me.
Oh yeah, well, you know.
But I did feel like, when I traveled to especially Cuba and Venezuela, countries that we don't understand are blackety blackety black blackety
Mhm,
black. To especially Cuba, to land in Cuba and to be greeted at the airport by people who looked like everybody in my family.
mhm,
And me not being able to communicate with them, but them wanting to communicate with me even after they realize, oh, she's from America, she's from the United States, and I'm expecting a certain kind of standoffishness and antagonism, because I would be like, what y'all doing here? But they were very welcoming, and they were glad to see us and wanted to ask questions. And yeah, it when I and the same thing in Venezuela. And then I realized, man, I can't communicate with my own people around the world. What the heck? Well,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is no, I need to fix this.
But have you been to Miami?
Unfortunately, yes.
They a different breed of Latino down there.
They're who we call the gusanos, basically. Not all of them, but
Not all of them,
the
but they,
the
if you,
Cuban exiles,
yeah.
the ones who hate the revolution, and Fidel Castro killed my grandpa. Your grandpa was a plantation owning
Mm,
slave owner
yeah.
who was exploiting and stealing from the peasants and the poor people, who was a white supremacist in service of the U.S. empire that colonized the island. So yeah, we don't
Yeah.
we don't care about them.
Yeah.
We
Some of
don't
them,
we know who they are.
some of them will call ICE on their own damn people. I
They
tell
sure
you.
will. They sure will. They sure will. And then be
Go get
upset.
them niggas. They
Be
over there.
upset when ICE snatch their wife.
Yo,
Well,
different
like a couple
breed.
of these white MAGA dudes
Mm,
have, because they love the exotic women.
yeah.
Yeah,
What?
they hate diversity, except for when it comes to their own little personal fantasies about the kinds of women who are submissive enough for their fantasies. And it's always Southeast Asian women. It's always global South women. It's who are very light, but who
Mm-hmm.
are, according to their cultural, I don't know if you want to, I don't know what you want to call it. It's not even understanding their own misogynistic, white supremacist cultural analysis of other groups of people that Europeans have colonized. They came away with this idea that certain women were exotic, and they were easily domesticated, and they were subservient. That's where this bullshit comes from
Mm,
about Filipino women and Hispanic women. I know that's their word, but there's a reason I'm using it.
mm,
Being more submissive than black women, easier to deal with,
mm.
less argumentative and problematic, and more focused on pleasing their man. Y'all know that's where that lie came from, right?
And
The colonizers who raped the women that they colonized.
yeah, and you know about that colorism they deal with in DR and Haiti, being right
Mm,
there. And I was just talking about we celebrating Marcus Garvey birthday, and talk about the colorism he dealt with, as in like he was like, darker skin, we lifting y'all up, light skins, they already got
mhm.
it. They gonna be all right. like is that whole colorism, that whole DR Haiti thing, like, yo, y'all on the same damn island, and just because of the skin color and the little hair texture difference, y'all like, yeah, I don't mess with them niggas. Them Bama's over there. That's
Well,
that's
I
wild.
mean,
What you
yeah, I
say?
mean, it goes deeper. It manifests itself as skin color and hair texture and colorism, but it's really colonialism, imperialism, because the
Yeah.
Dominican Republic didn't want to lose. Even though the Haitian Revolution liberated the entire island, um, the folks on one half of the island were like, "Wait a minute, you driving away the money? Well, hold
Mm,
on. We like these trappings that the French brought in here and that the Spanish brought up. No, we like this. What you
mm,
mean? They no, So that yeah, that all of this, the colorism, the misogyny, the stupid diaspora wars,
mm,
and even the relationship beefs that we seem to cannot get away from in
mm.
this country, with black men ain't shit, black women ain't shit, this that and
Yeah.
that. All of that comes from these colonial ideas about the oppressed women that they colonized, the women that they oppressed and colonized. So it's crazy that
Yeah.
in 2026, we do not understand that the stupid things we think about each other, things like, Filipino women are more submissive, Hispanic women are more obedient, and they're happy to stay at home and cook and clean, and they don't believe in this feminism garbage.
Mm.
Black women are just too argumentative, and these African women, they have attitudes, and y'all know that stuff all came from the people who colonized, enslaved, invaded, mass bred, mass raped, genocided our people, and
Oh,
we
yeah.
are still lobbing these insults at each other for what? For what? Because who wins when we keep perpetuating their stereotypes against us, when we're the ones now who are perpetuating the stereotypes that they created? Who wins? They do,
Mm. Yeah.
because we're paying all this attention to all this other bullshit, but we ain't paying attention to what these people are doing still in the countries that they used to colonize.
Oh,
Just
no, it's definitely all distractions. There's so many distractions. It's unbelievable. It's throw anything up and it's a bait, clickbait. Oh, let's get mad at it. So, let's not even think about what y'all doing. Like, what's going on? Like, how many people really even know what's going on over there where they dropping bombs and stuff, and
and how
really
many
care?
places they are. Uh-huh.
Like, they show us what they want to show us. Like, really? I mean, if I were the country, I'm gonna show you what I want to show you, and I control the media. You gonna know what I want you to know. I'm gonna buy what is it, TikTok, all these different social medias, and y'all gonna see what I want you to see. So, how much really is going on? I'm still confused about this whole NASA. What is NASA doing with all this money? They just came out with some new photos of what Mars look like. The fuck I care about what Mars look like?
so so you don't want to know about the universe, and you're not interested in science, and you
I ain't
because
say I ain't say that. I'm just
I
like,
mean,
yo, where does all this money NASA be like? They could really just AI some photos and be like, this
can
is
we
what
not?
Mars look like.
No, can we not? Can we not? No, no,
Oh,
no.
we believe everything NASA doing then. That's what you saying?
You're gonna believe everything AI produces?
I'm
Seriously?
no,
Seriously?
I'm just saying I don't believe that all this money NASA got, that what are they doing?
Are we seriously talking about NASA doing what they're supposed to do, taking pictures of the universe and telling us what else is out there, which I'm fine with. I don't, and I'm sure there are issues with it, but there are a lot other things that we can and should be focusing on. Where asking where the money is going, like, oh, I don't
That's
know,
what I'm
the
talking about.
military,
Like,
the
well,
military, the
okay,
military, the
NASA,
military.
military, all these motherfuckers out here. Where's all this money going? I mean, all this money for wars, all this money for
Na-
NASA. All what?
why are you putting NASA in the same?
They
Why?
ran by who? Who NASA ran by?
Who? What? Unlet
Is
that.
this
Look,
is this another
I'm.
cor? Is NASA another corporation? I'm just wondering.
No, NASA is not a corporation.
They not?
No, NASA
Explain to
is
me.
a NASA is a federal agency. It's not a corporation. It's not a private corporation. No, NASA is not a company.
So the governor ain't a corporation.
What, boy? If you don't,
Governments ain't ran by corporations. I'm just wondering. Because it sounds like we always say this, right?
Oh, Jesus. Saying that the government is controlled by corporate finance
Mm-hmm.
is not the same thing as saying government agencies are corporations. When we say the government is controlled and influenced by corporate finance, and some people will say by corporations, that means that the policies that the government implements are implemented in favor of the corporations for their benefit. And in fact, the policies that the government implements are implemented for the corporations at their behest, at their demand, basically. This does not mean that government agencies themselves are corporations. Like, yeah, they're I'm sure NASA is somehow involved in surveillance, because you can't tell me that they're not. Satellites and yes, I am sure they are deeply involved in the surveillance state in some way. But to equate them with, number one, a corporation is not accurate, and also to equate them to the Department of Defense and their active and intentional and stated mission to just blow the shit out of everything that the US government wants them to in order to steal their resources. I think, and if I'm incorrect here, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. And I'm
Well,
not saying that, and
and
I'm
that's the
not
thing.
saying for people who are about to say, but NASA, I am not saying that NASA is innocent. I am not saying they are above critique. I'm not saying they're pure. I'm not saying they're not corrupt. I am saying that it is incorrect to compare NASA or put them in the same category as a corporation, because the government is basically doing the bidding of the corporate class, finance capital, right?
So,
That is, I know what you're saying, but the way you said it
but
is
come on now, you see what I'm
no,
saying? But it's like,
no.
okay, wait a minute. What about when Katy Perry and who was it? Gail King,
Mhm.
Oprah's right hand. They just went on a mission. You remember they would just went on a pod and got sent up to space
That was
through
through
NASA?
SpaceX? Was it
Ain't they
through
down with
NASA or
NASA?
SpaceX?
I'm just
No.
see. That's what.
SpaceX
Okay.
is the private corporation. SpaceX is
See.
an
Okay.
Amazon company.
Okay. So now we
SpaceX
getting
is
there.
not SpaceX is not associated with NASA.
Okay.
SpaceX, Blue Origin, what's the Tesla one? Is that SpaceX? Yeah, I think I get them confused.
Okay.
But Amazon's space company, Blue Ocean, and I think SpaceX is Elon Musk. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
Musk. Those are private corporations. Those are the space trips that the celebrities went on, not
It's
NASA.
it's Musk. What is
Yes.
it? Okay. Bezos, not
Hmm.
Musk. I don't know. But what I'm looking at, people say stuff. I'm the one that's not scared to ask a question if I don't know. I
Sure,
just give a fuck.
that's hey, look
Because
ahead.
I didn't know the difference between SpaceX and NASA. Like when I looked at that, I was like, come on, son. I was I was like, Katy Perry, why? Why are you sending Gail King and Katy Perry up into space? I was just like, come on, NASA. That's what we doing with our money. So that's why I was just like, come on. So
Now,
pardon
here,
me for being a little ignorant to the difference. But when I seen that, I was like, come on.
no, I mean, look, that's actually a great question to ask, because now here's the tricky part. Here's the part where people are meant to be confused. Even though SpaceX and Ocean, what's it called? Blue Ocean,
Mm,
the Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos space projects are private corporate entities. They are absolutely private corporate entities. They do use NASA for some of its technology, because a private corporation has not been studying space exploration for as long as NASA has. So NASA is considered, now I'm not making the argument that they are actually the a premier institution for space exploration knowledge, because I actually think that's plenty of other countries and Russia being the first one, or the former Soviet Union. But NASA does have, they are considered the subject matter experts in
Mm.
the field of space exploration. So the SpaceX and Blue Ocean do have contracts with NASA
Mm.
to use some of their, I don't know, equipment, technology, to have some, NASA engineers help,
All right.
right?
So
Now,
so
that
so
is the connection.
so Jackie. Okay, let's imagine this. They go to Mars. They find a new
Mhm.
mineral that could do something that's so powerful.
Ah,
Uh, you think that they're gonna come back and be like, guess what, everyone? We found a new mineral.
ain't
Or
telling us.
or they're gonna talk to a corporation first and be like, all right, keep this on the low. Now let's go and do some research on what we got before we tell everybody else. So then that's not nothing to do with corporation. That's what
I
I'm
didn't
saying.
I
All
didn't I didn't say I didn't say that's not any, that doesn't have anything to do with corporations. But
you just
first of
saying
all,
it's not a
but
corporation. But
yes, but
but
first of all, that is how the US government has always operated.
Mm,
And that was before corporations really existed and had the kind of influence on government that we see today, right? So that is the way the US government has always operated. It didn't need anybody else. The people who created this mess, that's what they've always
because the
done.
government is the corporation.
Ah, Lord have mercy. Okay, fine. You want to keep making the government the corporation? Fine. The government's the corporation. Okay, let's move
All
on.
right. All right. Yeah, we got our coffee. Welcome to the Remix Morning Show, everyone.
I'm
I'm
just
the Air
laughing.
Doctor. This is Jackie Lukeman, and we be talking about from NASA to Jackie putting up pictures of her feet in the soil and people not paying the right amount of money they're supposed to be paying. What's going on with that? What's going on with your your OnlyFans
see,
page with your feet?
see how you making me sweat? 'Cause I'm a good Christian girl, and that's 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 sinful behavior.
It is. I'm
I
terrible.
I ain't, I ain't done my pedicure. My ain't nobody ready for these toes.
Oh man. Look, the good thing I ain't bring my toes out. They'll pay me to put them back in my socks.
I thought about, because I'm obsessed with my, this is my problem in the spring and the summer, and now it's extending into the fall. I am obsessed with gardening. I love it so much. It is
Mm.
so relaxing, and just the joy of growing my own food. I'm water bath canning now. I canned a bunch of like fig preserves. Oh my God, it's so good. Because I have a fig tree out back, and I got tired of the birds and the critters eating all the figs. So I figured, let's figure out what to do with these figs. See what I did there? Uh,
Mm. Fig Newtons. Yeah, I used to love some Fig Newtons, boy.
well, that I knew it. Just, we are so American. Mm.
What? I mean, when else did you hear about figs? Like
Well,
in
and
America,
boy,
Fig
exactly.
Newtons.
I've got I've got an Ethiopian brother moving next door to me. I've got I think they're also Ethiopian, but
Mm,
they're from the Horn of Africa
probably
somewhere.
Eritrean.
Family across the street. That may be. Oh, please, let's not. Um, um, across the street, who were very excited when I shared my rosemary with them. So I'm going to give them some figs. There's
Oh,
an
nice.
African family. From Gabon. They said they're from
Mm,
Gabon, and their kids come to the house a couple of times a week when they see me outside, and they hang out with me in the garden, and they ask questions, and they ask to help plant things that I don't need planted. So I just I just
Mm,
give them a bunch of seeds and like, here's some dirt, and let's
that's
see what happens. So,
that's
so
you.
I gave them some figs. So I mean, and when I told them, hey, I have figs. Do you all want figs? They were like, what? You have
Mm,
figs? You
mm.
you are giving away the figs? How much would you like to have for the figs? I will give you money for the figs. No, I don't want you. I'm just sharing. What? You are sharing the figs?
Look at that.
Oh,
Look at that.
mashallah. Oh, thank you. Yes, yes.
You
Ye-
go you
I'm
gonna
goofing
heal
off.
you
I'm
gonna
sorry.
heal the diaspora wars with these figs,
I'm
Jackie.
trying. I'm trying. One
one
piece on
nation,
earth,
one
one
nation by
fig at a
one
time.
nation with the figs. Good, you the garden lady of the block. Big up to Jackie. Yeah, all right. No, no. All right, I think we got some news and stuff to get into. So I guess we could go ahead and take our first break and rock
Hmm.
on into it.
Yep.
Big up to
Oh, can I?
everybody. Big up to the chat room. We got some more guest hosts coming around 9. This is the remix, y'all. We you really never know what you're gonna get, but you do know that you're gonna get a good show. How about that? All right, let's take a break right here at no other than the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. All right, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, go to patreon.com, become a member over there, get footage that's rare, and donate where? At blkliberationmedia.org. Show your love. Go ahead and get you some merch and rock out with us. And tell a friend to tell a friend is on again. What you're hearing right now in the background is a little bit of jazz. We're talking about Art Blakey. Yes. And this is A Night at Birdland. Yes, some live music from Art Blakey. Now, this came out in the year of 1954, but it was released in 1956. And that is A Night at Birdland, Volume 2. So, if you want to hear some good jazz, you like a good musician like Art Blakey, go check it out. All right, that's it. Let's get back to it right here at the Remix Morning Show.
That oh, that's just I feel like an adult when I listen to Jay.
It is. It's some adult. You know, that's all my. So growing up, my dad only listened to jazz, and my mom only listened to gospel music.
Oh
But they did
wow.
listen to some secular music also. Secular. That should sound crazy. But they listen to everything else too. But I mean, really jazz. And then when I got older, I understood that you could listen to jazz and think. You know, when you have other music, you got words and stuff that's getting into your head and you giving you thoughts. But now jazz, you can think your own thoughts and you just got a better music behind you. What?
Huh?
What?
You do know that there are jazz vocals, right?
Yeah,
There are
come on now.
vocals.
But what I'm
So
saying
I
as an
mean,
instrument, a lot of jazz is instrumental. When you talk about different artists like uh man,
the one you
so
just
many.
played.
Wes
Right.
Montgomery, yeah, I mean, you got so many different trios that's just like straight up. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's music like you can think about stuff and it just got some music in the background instead of words. Yeah, I love it.
Mm, I do love it. I
Yeah.
do love it as well. I okay, I'm gonna leave it alone.
Yeah, especially when you clean the house or something, you just have it on in the background. A good Sunday morning. Yeah, good old jazz. My favorite is Wes Montgomery. I love his music. So anyway,
Mm,
enough about
mm,
me and my love for jazz and Jackie's love for jazz. I guess it's time to slap the
mhm.
map.
Well, actually, I wanted to, if I can, really quick. That somebody asked a question in the chat that I actually do
Oh,
want to
get him,
answer.
get him, get him,
No,
get
it's
him.
not. It's not. Stop showing me my problematic crush from 25 years ago, because
All
that
right.
man he was a
Oh,
mess.
David's
Anyway,
Dre is gonna keep it a
oh
bean.
no, I'm sorry, not
Oh,
that one.
oh.
Oops, sorry. Here it is. David Barnes Asked what some of my favorite things to grow. I used to do community garden, and eggplants and jalapenos were my favorite to grow. I don't think I have a favorite thing to grow. Actually, I kind of love seeing everything grow. Now, my favorite thing to eat that I grow: tomatoes, eggplants, peppers, Chinese cabbage, and pak choy.
Hmm.
Any variety of the bok choy, the baby choy, the sam choy. I love the choys. I love the Chinese cabbage and
Bok choy.
the yeah, I love those. But I'm also kind of starting to branch out into. I'm going to start trying to grow fruit trees because I do have a little backyard, enough of a backyard where I can have at least I think two other trees. But then I also have the woods out back.
One deer and stuff like come and eat you? Or you what you
I don't
put
have
like?
a problem sharing. I
Oh.
don't, because I'm gonna plant more than one tree, and I'm gonna let the neighbors know, hey, little guerrilla gardening going on in the woods there. So got some fruit trees. Help me out. Enjoy. That kind of thing. I'm gonna see how that works out.
Mm,
But yeah, I love. Um, I'm fascinated by different varieties of tomatoes and peppers,
mm,
different varieties of greens. I like multicolored, a brightly colored kind of garden. So I usually will get different varieties of the same vegetables just to
mm.
see what they look like. And if they're really striking and really attractive to look at, I'll keep planting them. And especially if they do as well as the other vegetables. But yeah, that's what I do. I don't
Speaking of them tomatoes, man, I got this fryer I bought. Man, I put a bunch of avocado oil in the fryer, and I want
mhm.
to do some green tomatoes, some fried green tomatoes. I've done the mushrooms, I've done
Yeah.
okra. I ain't done the
Mhm.
fried green tomatoes though, so that's
Oh,
next on the list.
yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds like lunch today. And I got to be
Mm,
careful with the green tomatoes because the tomatoes were late because of the heat wave, so they're just setting and coming in. They're getting nice and big and juicy, but they're still green.
mm,
So I'm having to stop myself from picking the tomatoes to fry them up because I love fried green tomatoes. So
mhm,
I'm trying to restrain myself so that I can have some actual tomatoes to eat and to freeze.
mm.
And then I'm gonna plant my fall varieties this week because this is the window.
Damn,
But
we
yeah,
country as
that's
hell, Jackie.
yep. Hmm.
I got some frozen watermelon in my freezer. That's how country I am. All
Ooh,
right, let's go.
my my watermelon is ready. I'm a clip it today and take it around to
Yeah.
my aunt and uncles, and we gonna chow down this weekend. Yep. I only
Okay.
had one watermelon this year though. The heat
Chow down.
really messed
Yeah,
stuff up.
that's country as
Yep,
hell,
I'm
boy. Chow
country. I
down.
am country. Yep.
Well, I reckon it's time to come on and chow down on this good news we got here.
That's right. Howdy, y'all.
Hey, my mom's from Bama, my dad's from Texas, so I'm definitely country with
And
northern
my
flair.
family's, yep, my family's 90 miles south of Richmond from the Carolinas, that just across the border to Jared and Emporia down to South Carolina, North Carolina, South Carolina, and my dad's all the way down in Fayetteville. Well, not all the way down,
You know what's
Fayetteville,
fun?
South Carolina.
You know what's pretty dope now that we got a whole like migration back down south. It's been happening for a minute now. Like you're like, yo, I'm tired of this north shit. I'm moving back where it's hot and down with my people and my cousins and them.
Yeah, where, the cost of living is very low, but the wages are even lower.
But ain't that the
So,
thing with the internet now where you can have a job anywhere, you know what I'm saying, and still get like certain wages? That don't work.
nope.
You can't do
Who
that.
for who? For who?
Like certain
Who?
companies are online remote jobs.
Who for who? Who do you? Oh, you think those jobs are? You think all those jobs are real? They're not. They are not. And a lot of companies are have been pushing back ever since Joe Biden declared the COVID pandemic over. That's when all of the work from home, remote work, that's when the companies started scaling back
Mm.
these allowing their employees to work from home, and they started demanding that their employees come back into the office. And now, yeah, that you can find some remote jobs here and there, but most of those jobs are um they're unless we're talking about, like, I don't know, medical billing, I suppose, something like that. But no, most of the remote jobs are um they're high level jobs.
Yeah,
They're not.
and I was just thinking, my kid's mom just lost her job and is
Oh,
trying to find another job. It's like she got mad credentials and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, wow, like,
yep.
eh.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here right now waiting to hear from Social Security to see if they're going to extend my disability benefits, because, I just had this kidney transplant in 2023. And if they deny me, I'm going to have to go back to work.
Mm,
And cuz who else going to pay this mortgage? Right? So, I'm going to have to go back to work, and I don't know how I don't think I can survive in anybody's office
mm.
anymore. I don't think I can do it. So, I'm going to have to see if I can find some kind of remote something, but that will also mean that I'm going to have to take a job that I wouldn't have wanted to take, that I
Mhm.
don't want to take, because that's the kind of money I need, right?
Yeah,
So, I don't I
you gotta do what you
so
gotta do.
it's I'm
Alright.
not looking. This is a very I am stressed the fuck out right
Mm,
now. I am so stressed out
mm,
about the next few years before I can retire at 62. I'm
mm,
58. My birthday's in October. So
mm,
that's 3 years, 4 years that I may have to. I mean, and look, like Abdus used to say, hey, if this YouTube thing that we trying to do don't work out, we know how to work. And that's true. I sure as hell do.
Well,
Um,
y'all, that's time to ask for some donations so we can make sure Jackie can
ah,
sail off into retirement
I
and without
mean,
being so stressed. So if you can donate
let me do
right
my
here
calculation.
in the chat room, uh
1750 a month time 4 years.
help us, please. I, y'all don't want me to go nowhere, even though y'all don't like all the stuff I say. It's like, come on. You want Black liberation around. You want the Remix Morning Show.
Mhm.
Stop. All right, let's get to some news so we can show why y'all should be donating. You ready?
Man, come on. Can we start with this story that I didn't when I first heard about it, I didn't know anything about this man, and of course I shouldn't have, because I'm not in the UK.
Mm,
None of us should have known about this because we're not in the UK. But somehow this story about Jason Arday has gone international. Where is this thing? Here it is. Um, and let me be clear. I'm not saying that we shouldn't know about it because this doesn't matter. I think that the fact that this story went international is
mm,
a part of a bigger kind of question about the current conversations that people in the established institutions, whatever they are, academia, whether it's medicine, whatever the established law, whatever the established institutions are, these are the conversations they're having about us in them, right? This, I really feel like I don't see why this would have been an international story were it not for what is going on politically around the world with this MAGA leading the coalescing of global fascism. Because I, this guy, nobody in the United States probably knew who this man was.
I still don't.
Still, this was done to him by this racist white man, also in the UK, who believes in, I can't remember, basically I can't remember what it's called. Oh, race realism. That's what it is. Racial realism. Um, and he accused Jason Arday of plagiarizing. Two investigations, I believe, um, came to the conclusion that there was no evidence that he plagiarized anything. There were other um, uh, uh, accusations that he lied about his childhood. You know what? I don't care. I
Mm.
don't care. I don't care if he did lie. I don't care if he did plagiarize. I don't care. And neither should you, because England, they complaining about some plagiarism? Are you serious? Anybody in this country, y'all, plagiarism? Cambridge University is complaining about plagiarism? Seriously? When several of their graduates have also been accused, and acting continued professors have been not only accused of plagiarism, but it was proven that they did plagiarize their own students' work, and
Mm.
they didn't get the scrutiny. They didn't get fired. They didn't lose anything. A couple of those professors are still working.
Well, isn't like
But
Chat PT or whatever? Ain't that like where they get all their stuff? They, I would assume, they just get it from other people's papers and stuff.
well, Chat GPT just collects information that already exists on the internet. And they're basically Chat GPT and these large language models basically do a super search on the internet for information that it would take you a couple of weeks to find.
So they
Uh,
plagiarize too.
well, is
Small
it's not.
bits,
Well,
fragments of
no,
people's stuff.
no, that's no plagiarism. Oh Lord, you know what
I
plagiarism
know. I'm
is.
just
You
playing.
know
Go
the
ahead. Continue with the
difference.
story. I joke. I kid. Continue.
So this is what is this? This is CNN World, and take the source for what it is. Jason Arday, the youngest black professor in the University of Cambridge's 817-year history, is dead, but the intense public debate over his life and work and what it means for a society grappling with multiculturalism is continuing, perhaps even more furiously. Arday's death on Friday, aged 41, followed mounting pressure from the UK and international media probing every aspect of his life. The
Mm.
questioning spanned everything from his academic record to claims he was mute until he was 11, and even his athleticism following his claim that he once ran 30 marathons in 35 days.
Hmm.
His family blames a campaign of sustained abuse. One, they say, began the day he was appointed as a professor at Cambridge in February 2023 for his death. They suggested those angered by suggestions his was a case of over promotion would leave no stone unturned in their quest to undermine him.
Hmm.
Others have gone further, calling the unrelenting interest in Arday a pernicious public shaming. This is London Mayor Sadiq Khan who said that. And he said a racist witch hunt. Oh, no, I'm sorry, somebody else. This is Wayman Bennett of
Hmm.
Stand Up to Racism in the UK, said that this was a racist witch hunt. Arday's story has dominated headlines with coverage spanning the political spectrum, and leaders from Prime Minister Andy Burnham down pressed uh, uh, and leaders from Prime Minister Andy Burnham down, who wrote this thing, pressed for their opinions. Burnham, who has been in the top job for less than a month, said Arday's death was a tragedy on so many levels and called for a moment of reflection. That moment has yet to come. The debate over Arday's life and career and what it means for society is continuing just as ferociously, if not more so, despite his death. Julia Hartley Brewer, a presenter on Talk TV, an online channel owned by Rupert Murdoch's News UK, on Saturday said the only person responsible for Jason Arday's death is Jason Arday. Oh my God. He
So
was a
break.
liar and a fraud. Huh?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Continue. He's a liar and a
He was a
fraud.
liar and a fraud who was rightly exposed for what he really was by academics and journalists who were simply doing their job. This isn't about right and left, it's about right and wrong, she said on X. less than 24 hours after his death was announced by police, who said it was unexpected but not suspicious. The UK's Spectator magazine, a right-leaning weekly, on Sunday said our day was both built up and destroyed by the ruthless machinery of DEI. No one can deny it now. Wokeness makes false gods and real tragedies.
So
I'm not gonna read any more of this shit.
so
I'm gonna put it in the chat for y'all.
so the takeaway from this, I assume, is that everything that's going to be written is going to be checked now, because people are going to look for plagiarism. People ain't going to believe you. So I don't know. A lot of the writings are going to be looked at as false until proven innocent. Or I'm confused. What do we? Because it seems like now they're going to be checking for everybody's shit to make sure that it's real and not plagiarized. Like, no matter, even your book when it comes out.
What do you mean now?
Well,
this is not new.
Okay,
This
so break it
is
down. What are
not
we looking
new.
at?
How many times have Black academics, Black authors, Black intellectuals been challenged on the authenticity, the legitimacy of their work, of their research, of their education, of their qualifications? This hyper focus on trying to find something to tear the Black person who rose to the levels that white folks don't think they're supposed to be at, with them or above them. This is not new at all. The reason this story got so much attention, and they do talk about the person who started all this in this article. This person, Nathan Kofnas, a fellow Cambridge academic and a self-defined race realist, published a Substack article or post claiming that Arday had plagiarized a peer in his 2015 PhD thesis. Arday was awarded his PhD from Liverpool's John Moores University, so that wasn't even at Cambridge. Arday made honest and reasonable errors and dismissed the allegations of plagiarism. Arday admitted making citation errors and apologized, but denied lying. Citation errors. He just didn't
put the commas
format some citations correctly. That's it. That's not plagiarism. That's making a plain old editing mistake. And if you're writing 50 pages and you've got 200 citations, 150, yes, you're going to make some mistakes. You absolutely are. Even if you're using the citation software that exists, because it exists, or if you're using like Microsoft Word or Google Docs and using the little citation feature within them, you can still make mistakes. And as somebody who just kind of finished writing a book, I did not realize how many mistakes I made with my own damn citations. And the only reason I knew was because the people who proofread the book from the publishers corrected them. So let's not act like this is some weird thing. It's not.
So is this a way to downplay people's works and make it look like they're writing fake news?
This particular case is another example of these fascists finding a person to use as an example for proving their point. This person, Kofnas, went on national radio and described Arday's appointment to the professorship as Cambridge as DEI ideology. After the man was proven not to have plagiarized anything, this racist white piece of shit went on to continue to claim that man lied. And he also said in the same interview that Arday was not smart like other Cambridge professors.
He not like us.
Right. Kaufman's published research claiming that race is linked to intelligence, and under a colorblind system, Black people would disappear from almost all high profile positions outside of sports and entertainment. That's the point. That's what this is about. This is the same thing as the moral majority spending all those years before they finally figured out what would work to get white Christians to vote for Republicans or conservatives. They tried getting white Christians involved in politics through, you know, the fight against pornography. They tried with other things, the war on drugs, and white Christians were like, yeah, not really interested. But when they found out that they could lie about Bob Jones University and the case that the IRS had against them, frame it as this is the US government attacking us for religious freedom, instead of, no, the government wants to take away their tax exempt status because they're violating federal law by upholding racial discrimination on their campus. That's how they finally got these white Christians involved in politics, by covering up racism and then saying, see, this is an attack on our religious freedom. And that's how they got white folks involved in racism. They pick a scapegoat. They find a scapegoat. They will search for a scapegoat to prove their racist, bigoted point. And they don't care what happens. They don't care what the fallout is. This man Kaufnas, and that's being generous. That is not a human being. That man is an animal, and I know what I'm saying. He is Gog and Magog. If you believe in Satan, that's the kind of shit Satan would do. He knows damn well that what he started led to the death of Jason Arday, and he does not give a damn, because as far as he's concerned, this proves his point. That Arday is the example for everything wrong with woke and DEI, and they know it because look at how guilty he is. He killed himself. Would a person who was innocent and knew they qualified and they deserved all of these accolades, would they have killed themselves? This was intentional. Did they know that Jason was going to take his own life in the midst of this scrutiny? No, but they didn't care. The attack on Jason Arday was absolutely intentional, and it's a signal to the MAGA fascists in the US. This is how you go after these motherfuckers. This is how you get rid of the Negroes in our institutions. And so watch. It's gonna happen again. And all of this conversation about multiculturalism. This is not a conversation about multiculturalism. This is fascism. And until we start dealing with it as such, this is no different from all those Black people in Mississippi found hanging in trees. We don't do that, y'all.
Yeah, definitely don't do
That's the one thing we don't do.
Yeah.
So all of this, please don't think this is like, oh, I didn't know. Oh, this is so sad. I was just trying to make a point. They knew this was an intentional campaign against this man to prove a political point that would be used as another a way to coalesce this growing fascist, coalescing fascist sentiment and movement, not just in the US, not that just in the UK, but throughout the hemisphere. And it is all connected with the rise of these Trump-supported right-wing leaders in global South countries that had progressive leaders elected. And a lot of those leaders were subjected to the same kinds of smear campaigns that Jason Arday was, only they were implemented by the US government. Right? All of this is connected. None of this is accidental. And we had better understand that the way these people are organized, this man is in the UK. you better believe he is in communication with some of these folks over here. They are organized internationally. What the heck are we doing?
Hmm.
So that's
What,
my focus on that story.
what's your clear cut definition of fascism? Well, I got a neighbor next door that got down with fascism on the back of his car. I was like, really?
The thing is that this is the thing that people that kind of ticks me off about this conversation about fascism. People always want like a 2-sentence definition of fascism
Mm-hmm.
that satisfies everybody, and everybody is going to come back and agree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fascism. No.
And I'm
If
asking you, what's yours?
Mine is the look at the history of the development of this country, and that's fascism. Everything that was done in the development of this country was fascist. Everything. Because everything that we associate fascism with that happened after, meaning Nazi Germany, because that whenever we think about fascism, that's the only thing we think about, because we've been indoctrinated by shitty US public school education and shitty US movies about World War II that framed the US as the victors in World War II when the US were not. They weren't they didn't win the war. The Soviet Red Army and the Chinese did. The US came in so late. By the time the US got involved in World War II, the war was basically over.
Mm.
Right? So fascism, if you look at the way this country, these colonies were established, you look at the genocide of the indigenous, the theft of their land, you look at mass displacement and deportation of entire groups of people. You look at the forced relocation of another group of people and their enslavement for damn near 300 years. And then on top of that, after that, then you have the enforced legal racial discrimination based on race. Race itself was made up in order to justify the denial of human rights of an entire group of people, of entire groups of people, not just in this country, but around the world, to justify not just slavery, but colonization. If that's not fascism, if people need to see 10,000 jackbooted thugs goose stepping down their main street with Nazi flags in order for them to recognize something as fascism, they're fucking idiots. And I'm sick of trying to explain to them that fascism takes many forms, and we have lived all of those forms in this country as the people who were oppressed by the folks who started this shit.
Mm-hmm.
But people don't believe, and they don't want to equate the founding of this country on the same fascism that was responsible for Nazi Germany, even though Nazi Germany got its inspiration from the founding of this country and the way the people who founded this country managed their undesirable populations. The Nuremberg laws in Germany were based on Jim Crow. The final solution was based on the genocide of the indigenous.
Mm.
They admit that. So how in the world, and I've had this conversation with lots and lots of people, that's why it pisses me off so much, because people say the same thing. This isn't fascism because they're not jackbooted thugs marching down the street. So you need a Hollywood movie adaptation of fascism for you to understand that denying entire groups of people basic human rights, controlling their movement, controlling their access to information, lying to them about actual history, and breeding people, treating people as property. You don't think that's fascism? Okay.
So before we go to our break and bring in our guest host, can fascism and imperialism be interchangeable?
Fascism is an aspect of imperialism.
Mm.
Yeah.
So it's a part of imperialism. Imperialism
Mhm.
is the umbrella.
Mhm.
Fascism is okay.
Mhm.
All right. Learning something today, right here on the Remix Morning Show, y'all. I know it ain't just me. I ain't the only one that asks these questions, and if I do, and if it is me, so be it. You know, a lot of people come to this channel to get they learn on. All right, so let's go ahead and take our quick break, and then we're gonna come back right here on no other than the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. Big up, everybody. Welcome out. Thank you all for tuning in to the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. That is Jackie Lukeman, as you can see. And we are here to give you what you need. And that is news and other things. Big up to all y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. I will be doing, and me and the sister DJ Rasurius will be doing a classical breakdown of Anderson .Paak's first debut album, Malibu, and Bilal's first album, Firstborn Second. Very good album. So please make sure y'all tune in for that. It'll be a dope show. All right, we got a bunch of dope shows. In case you didn't see the last Real Talk, let me put y'all on so y'all can see what was going on and what was being talked about. Check this out.
And so, like you mentioned, this is happening nationally. And this means that there is a new Black working class to some extent that's being forged in the suburbs and the exurbs. I think especially now, like that there are these massive warehouses in the outskirts of major cities. I think we're going to be paying a lot of attention to that and what that means for labor, Black labor there. And then I also think we have to understand what Harold Barron, who was the Chicago Urban League director of research in 1968, called the web of urban racism. Mm-hmm. So I think we have to understand how that's shifted in the 21st century to what I'm now, adapting to call the web of suburban racism, to analyze, how these suburban institutions have concentrated Black workers into low-wage jobs without access to public resources like education, housing, transportation, and so on.
Yes, that is definitely happening out in my area also. Make sure y'all go check out the last Real Talk. And now, with that said, let's go ahead and get back to some more Real Talk right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. All right. We got A-Rob in the building. What's good?
Morning, y'all.
How are you?
Can y'all hear me okay?
Yep.
Cool.
All right. How's it going in Carolina?
It is going okay, as can be expected in this crazy world.
I don't know, A-Rob. You always got something going over there in Carolina, man. Yeah, I'd be like, God damn, again, something else?
Yeah. We y'all talked about it, I think, yesterday. The young man that was found hanging in Raleigh during the Care Mask Festival downtown. Of course, they've determined it was a suicide, but there have been 3 in North Carolina since May.
All these people
all dismissed as suicides, of course.
And we don't, yes, the suicide rate among Black folks is problematic. It is terrifying. And especially among our youth, it is heartbreaking. But we don't hang ourselves from trees, y'all.
Hell no.
We don't hang ourselves from trees. And this many of us in the same area, because it's been a couple of places where this has happened, in a very short period of time, you know doggone well what this is. You know what this is. And I'm waiting for somebody to do, not the government. I'm not talking about the government. I'm talking about us.
Yeah.
The hell are we doing?
We need to go recruit the Hebrew Israelites off the corners. We need to go get the new black. I'm saying, we got Bloods and Crips. We got all these soldiers that want to kill each other, but I don't.
Well, it's also a good time to educate people that even when Black people do die by suicide, the state is still at fault for conditions under capitalism. So,
Yep.
I'll let y'all go ahead and get to another story. I gotta refill my coffee. I'll be back.
Okay. So, A-Rob, what you got?
So, Renee didn't finalize that I would be here till like this morning. So, I'm just jumping in. I'll feed off of you.
Okay, cool. And I just want to point out that to Ear Doctor's last point, let's not forget what Thomas Sankara said about a soldier without any political or ideological training or education. They're potential war criminal. You don't want just anybody with a gap.
Yeah. Right.
It's just no. We can't be doing that. Right. But okay, just wanted to point that out. This is why, certain organizations we don't mess with them too much because they're a little problematic. So let's see. I'm having an issue with my mouse. Hold on. So let me see if I can fix this and get this going. All right, there we go. Got that back. So one of the other stories that I was looking at that's on the run sheet. Thank you so much, Erica. Dr. Brown. I love saying that. I really do love calling her Dr. Brown. You know why? Because I love giving our people our flowers when we are here.
Right.
I love it. Look, if you have accomplished something, I want to celebrate what you accomplished. If you have earned your degree and you got some letters behind your name, I'm going to call you Doc. I sure am, because you earned it, right? If you have, if your kid graduated, from some program and you're proud of it, I'm going to be proud of your kid too. You started your own garden and you're excited. I'm excited about your new tomato too. I want to give our people our flowers for whatever we do that we are excited about while we are here. Because you see where we are. You see where the heck we are. So,
well, I'll be obtaining my second master's from North Carolina Central University in December for assistive technology and visual impairment. So I do a lot of work with blind.
Okay. All right now. Thank you for letting me know, and I will. We will honor you accordingly. So I've been really kind of I've been really wondering what the heck it. I know that corporate media is ridiculous, but this article and this title is just crazy. After Trump's DEI cuts, communities struggle to fix problems with raw sewage, air pollution, and erosion. Projects ranging from air monitoring in Georgia to installing indoor plumbing in an Alaskan village to provide septic tanks in Alabama have collapsed, leaving residents in the lurch. And now you have to subscribe to NBC News. So in order to get the rest of this story, and we're not going to do that. But basically, remember when we talked about the sewage that was seeping up through the ground in Lowndes County, Louisiana, of all places? Where the Black Panther Party got its information, right? The focus on fixing those issues was not a DEI effort. I don't know where that connection came from.
Yeah, that was a weird headline for sure.
And see that to me, that is the liberal-ish media taking issues that affect particular people, conflating them with their goal of making Trump look bad. Because why else would they bring up DEI in this case?
Are they trying to say that people like non-white people hold those jobs that do the work? Is that what they're saying, or that those projects benefit non-white people?
See, because the article is behind a paywall, gotcha. You can't.
Right.
But because they were absolutely talking about how the programs that were implemented to address these programs they all fell by the wayside after Trump came into office. But those programs were not implemented because of DEI initiatives being implemented. Those programs were implemented because people were getting sick from fucking hookworm from having raw sewage bubbling up in their yard. It didn't have anything to do with DEI, but right. it is an effort by corporate media. Thank you, James. Lowndes County, Alabama, not Mississippi. Sorry about that. The corporate media to make a case, and I know that people are not going to like what I'm about to say, but it's just the truth. To continue to make a case for corporate America propping up a bullshit program in response to a righteous and appropriate uprising against another instance of state terrorism committed against an African person, without paying any attention to why those programs came to be in the first place, and the actual impact they had on the community that they were supposed to be helping, and reducing it all down to see what happens when this one white racist guy comes in and gets rid of the DEI. That is not what is happening here. DEI was really a response by corporate entities in 2020, during the uprising of 2020, to find a way to basically protect their physical and corporate profits.
Right.
To protect their physical property and their corporate profits, because they did not want all these Black Lives Matter protests to tear up their stores, and they didn't want all these people to boycott their brands. So they said, how are we going to get these people to not, destroy our property? Because we're complicit in all of this, back in the blue and all this kind of stuff. And I know that came after, but So DEI itself, people confuse DEI with affirmative action and the Civil Rights Act. DEI was not a part of the Civil Rights Act. DEI was this thing that corporations decided to do in response to the uprising against the public execution of George Floyd.
Right.
And if I'm incorrect, please correct me.
Yeah, I mean, I just think Trump has just become a convenient scapegoat for folks to do the things that they've always wanted to do and didn't want to deal with the political backlash. And because he's not really a politician, he's a business person, bad business person, then folks can just come in and do these sweeping changes to things that they always wanted to do, because, they act like he's standing over all these departments, making these changes and watching what everyone's doing. And, people say that it's easier to organize under Trump, but it's really not, because you can't get people to do a lot related to like their local politicians who are making detrimental decisions, because he's not Trump. They're not like Trump. Like, everything now is going to be gauged towards that extreme. And it's like pushing people further right, because his policies seem so extreme that we're just gonna be accepting more extremities that aren't as extreme as the things that he's doing. And yeah, it's really hard to get people to see the connections and the parallels between what's going on that doesn't have anything to do directly with his policies.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Ron 841,000, that is what I'm saying, that DEI is not a part of it. I literally said that. I think I literally said this has nothing to do with DEI. Because DEI was not involved in these programs that were addressing these issues. So this is not a DEI issue. The way the media framed the article and the title by putting DEI in there is a cynical ploy that they're using to connect this issue that has nothing to do with DEI. That is what I said. So,
yeah, because the New York Times has I think the article might be related. The New York Times article says they were promised new septic tanks. Trump called it illegal DEI. So the framing of the article changes what you think the article is about. So that goes to your point, how the headline kind of feeds into the narrative around DEI, where this other headline makes it clear that what Trump is saying is disparaging and inconsistent.
Right. And to be clear, how do I explain? The ideas of creating a society, especially in the workforce and in public accommodation, where diversity, what's the other equality and inclusion are principles that are adhered to make society that way, more diverse, more equal, more inclusive. That is the purpose and the goal of the Civil Rights Act, right? Of all of the Civil Rights Acts, that was allegedly the purpose and the goal. And there are plenty of arguments about how far it went, whether it was successful, whether it went far. No, it didn't go far enough. Not what we actually asked for. All kinds of things. Yes, that's true. When these particular folks are talking about DEI, they are literally responding to, they do have a long-term plan to get rid of all of the civil rights legislation, right? That this is what they really want to do. So the Civil Rights Acts, all of them, they want them gone. And they are working on getting rid of all of them. But they are using this thing called DEI, which is this corporate response to the uprisings from 2020. To kind of, show that, hey, not all of us still believe in this racist stuff. Please don't burn down our stores. That this is that particular move by corporate America to formalize this separate kind of focus on these things called diversity, equality, inclusion in their specific hiring, which was something they didn't even have to do if they had already been adhering to the Civil Rights Acts, right? Why would you need to create a new program to ensure that you are facilitating diversity, equality, and inclusion in your corporate hiring practices when you should have been adhering to the federal law on hiring under the Civil Rights Acts in the first place?
And at a certain point, if it's part of your corporate culture, it's apparent, like, to people. And like, are any of these corporations having conversations like, okay, we have to make some adjustments to protect ourselves and our employees, but how do we articulate to everyone that these are still the values that we uphold? Like, how do we maintain that balance between not causing further scrutiny on ourselves politically, but also still letting it be known that this is still something that we want to adhere to and that we actually believe in and is part of our corporate culture, whether it is enshrined in an actual policy or not.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I would really, I think that as I'm trying to fix my little mouse issue over here, because you know how technology be betraying me, all the money I spent on this $6 mouse. That's what I get. But I would like for us, I think, to not so much focus on whatever it is that the right is focusing on. I want us to stop. If they're calling it DEI, okay, fine. Whatever they want to call it. They call anything, they call everything they don't like that's associated with people who look like us DEI. That's so the New York Times article gives the example that actually fits. That's where the DEI focus comes from, because Trump makes it DEI. But we know that the programs that and the promises made to fix these issues had nothing to do with DEI, had nothing to do with the corporate response to the uprisings in 2020, had nothing to do really with the Civil Rights Act at all.
Right.
Had nothing to do. It had everything to do with the government is allowing people to be infected by raw sewage seeping out of the ground.
Right.
And that is public infrastructure, and the government has failed in its maintenance of public infrastructure to the point where people's health and safety, children's health and safety, is being threatened. That's the issue. It's not DEI, but these people and the media will use DEI as an excuse to not do things that should be done for people because they're human beings. And the MAGA folks will love it as they do, but I think the more dangerous thing is what we saw in that article, the way this thing is framed, because it's this, they made this issue into, this is another, thing that DEI was responsible for, that Trump is destroying. And no, this is not a Trump problem. This is a US government problem, because it wasn't DEI or the lack of DEI that created the problem. Right? It was just the government didn't give a shit about poor people.
You got me wondering now, because we've had like 5 parks in my city closed for lead contamination for more than 3 years. And of course, they're all in historically Black neighborhoods. And so there's been no movement on remediating it or reopening the parks. And I'm wondering if that will be the reasoning used behind not doing what needs to be done to get those parks back open, and is putting it on Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Rob, I could see you running for something in Carolina. Am I wrong?
You wasn't paying attention. I ran for city council last year. Remember?
That's right. And I can see you doing it again. Hey, big up to our donations. Bad Biscuits. Sent it in $9.99. Just finished my master's degree and submitted a paper with 40 references, and each paragraph probably had over a dozen citations. And we're talking each sentence having between 2 to 5 citations. Also, big up to Jack, sending in $10. In 2006, my community college did a diversity circles workshop that expounded on DEI, led by a director of DEI. Could you speak to or point to resources to learn more about the origins of DEI? All right. Any of y'all? Yeah, yay, nay.
Your director of DEI didn't tell you?
I guess they was directed not to.
I mean, every corporate job I always had a diversity, equity, inclusion type department or office or initiative or something. I don't know who to direct you to.
Yeah, I don't know. I never had a corporate job like that.
Well, like I said, the principles of DEI, that there has to be an external intervention by the government to force basically public institutions to create more diverse, more equal, and more inclusive workplaces and public spaces, that was the civil rights movement. That's the Civil Rights Acts.
Right.
That the principles, that's what they were designed to do. The creation of and they were called different things. There were always like EEOC when the Civil Rights Acts were passed. There was the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, and a lot of companies and corporations, colleges, universities, all kinds of places implemented EEOC offices in their businesses, or an EEOC officer, EEOC compliance officer. So and those names have changed over the years, right? That some companies had affirmative action officers to ensure that they were adhering to the civil rights affirmative action laws. At the same time, they were lying about the affirmative action laws, claiming that, they required quotas, that we just had to hire a certain number of Black people, whether they were qualified or not. Well, if you did that, you're actually breaking the law, because the law says you have to recruit qualified minority applicants. Qualified.
Don't that go against nepotism?
You have to show, huh?
Don't that go against nepotism though?
What?
I said, doesn't that go against nepotism? Hiring qualified people.
I see what you're doing there, but
hey, Rob, you can speak too.
You can be qualified and benefit from nepotism.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I mean, a lot of people just hire their family. It doesn't mean you're unqualified because you benefited from a relationship with. It doesn't necessarily mean. I don't know.
Okay.
And anyway, that's continue. How nepotism and hiring your son as opposed to
a more qualified person because they're my son. We'll continue.
Okay. So these corporate efforts and institutional efforts have changed names over the years as society kind of changed the name of what they thought they were focusing on. First it was just, civil rights legislation, then it's affirmative action. And then, like I said, all of a sudden in 2020, all of these big corporations like the massive at Target and the big banks, they made a big deal about, our boardrooms are not that diverse and we have to do better at DEI. So they created this thing called DEI. And it really is DEI is almost a watering down or a bastardization of affirmative action, of the Civil Rights Act, which itself, the Civil Rights Acts themselves were watered down from what the civil rights movement was demanding. But that's basically, I guess, kind of the history of where DEI came from. The thing about DEI is there is no legislation, there's no document, there's no one, I guess, I don't know, manifesto floating around corporate America that says we are going to do this. That it's just their marketing teams got together and said, how are we going to deal with these angry Black people this time? And they came up with this phrase. Let's say that we're going to create these DEI initiatives to bring in more diverse and equal and inclusive people into our workforce. And then what they actually did was promoted and gave more jobs to women, white women.
This DEI thing.
And you ever seen the 4 boxes training where they have, it's a reality. It's like people standing behind a fence watching like a baseball game, and the first box says reality, and it's like one person's really, really short and they can't see over the fence. The other person has a box and they can see over the fence, and then another person has a big stack of boxes so they can see everything. The next one says equality, so everybody has the same size box looking over the fence. And the next one says equity, so everybody has a box that allows them to see based on what they need. And then the final one is like justice, where the fence is eliminated so everybody can see the field.
Yeah, DEI messing up my grant money. Anyway, let's go. It is like if you got black in your name and you try to get some grant money, they like, oh no. These are after school programs. It's hard to get going on now. Like I deal with the Black Man Lab, Black Woman's Lab. But you got black in your name. Stay like
but that's not an example of DEI messing up your grant money. That's an example of the hatred of DEI.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Messing up your grant.
That's what I'm saying. I said DEI is fucking up the grant money. I didn't say what side.
Okay.
Anyway, let's take a break as y'all pull up another story. I'm just here to cause trouble and havoc.
Yes, you are. Delightfully. Yes, you are.
No problem. I got you. Say less. Let's take a quick break. We're going to come back with some more right here on the Remix Morning Show. Try me. Let's do it like this.
The new moon road. The new moon road high in the crown of the metropolis, shining like who on top of this? People with tussling, arguing and bustling, gangsters are for hardcore hustling. I'm wrestling with words and ideas. My ears spit, thinking what will transmit. Scribe to the block, transcript. Yo, this ain't no time whether you use your the suitable. Tonight is live, scribe the inscrutable, the indisputable. We New York, the narcotics, strictly metal and fiber optics. We're mercenaries, paid, trade, hot stock, take the profit. 50 criminals in pocket. Hard knuckles on the second hands of working class watches. Skyscrapers and colossus. The cost of living is preposterous. Stay alive, you pay or die, no options. No Batman and Robin. Can't tell between the cops and the robbers. They all heartless, they all heartless, with no conscience. Back streets stay talking. While unbeliever hearts stay hardened. My ego talent stay sharpened. Like city lights stay throbbing. You either make a way or stay solvent. The shiny apple is bruised with sweet and if you choose to eat. You can lose your teeth. Many crews with drink.
All right, let me take you to a time and place. Let me take you back to the year of 1999. We talking Mos Def and Talib Kweli, All Black Star album. Mix over a little bit of dancehall with the man them called Junior Tucker. Flip up. All right, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Go to patreon.com, become a member over there, get footage that's red, and donate where at blkliberationmedia.org. Show your love, share, and let everybody know this is where they need to be, right here on Black Liberation Media. All right, with that said, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go.
I'm a serious lover, I don't play, so I find another to make my day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
So rocking a little bit, rocking out with a little bit of Black Star in the morning. Big up as we commemorate Black August on this month, this day of the 19th. Like I said, pick up a book. What's a book any books y'all could suggest? Somebody might want to pick up. I know they'll be picking up that John Brown book soon, but what else you got for us?
Mm-hmm. Yes, because in December you can pick up We Need John Brown Christians. Here, I'm going to share it for you so you can see it. I'm going to give you the link too. We Need John Brown Christians, embracing Christianity that confronts power. Nope, not trying to proselytize you, but this is definitely a condemnation of white Christian nationalism and, letting these folks know you can hate John Brown all you want to, but he was right and you were wrong and you still are. So this is on pre-order. It'll be published December 2026, December 1st. Now they have the date. 2026. Nice. You can pre-order at this link. I'm going to drop it here for you. So what do I have? I have
early Kwanzaa.
I have over 100 citations in this book. And yeah. Many of them were formatted incorrectly.
So Jared has talked about writing his book and had other authors on, and they've talked about they don't get to pick like their title and cover design. Did you get to pick yours?
I did pick the title. I told them that it has to be called We Need John Brown Christians. Whatever they want to put after that, we can talk about it. And they're like, okay. So then they came up with the Embracing Christianity that confronts power, and they had a couple of other what is that called, subtitles that they ran by me, and I like that one. But the cover title, no, I didn't get to choose that, and that's good because I suck at that. So they did choose the cover title, and I actually have a meeting with the marketing team this week. So the whole bunch of other stuff is fitting to happen as far as marketing this book is concerned. So yeah, and I have learned, man, I have learned a lot writing this first book. The things that you should do if you're going to write a book that's going to be published by an established publishing house, and the things you do not want to do. Putting a bunch of quotes in it, don't do it. If you can avoid it, don't use long quotes from other sources, because you have to cite them, and that's fine because you're gonna have to cite everything you put in there anyway if you're dealing with history. But you also have to get permission to use the quotes in your work if the quotes come from a published work that has been published in the last 150 years or something or other like that. You literally have to contact the copyright owner and get their permission to use a portion of their text, whether it's an article or from a book. And that could take a while, and it's going to cost you money because they're going to charge you for the license, and you have to pay for it. So yeah, fuck them quotes.
About to say, when Naka Ponda's book come out, there ain't gonna be no citations. It's gonna be straight off the dome, baby. Straight off the dome. Yo, and when we talking about books, like I said, my first books that got my awakening, I first started, even we say showing me something that's other than what I was taught. First was 5% lessons. Then it went to Nuwabian stuff. From Dr. York, and then my first book was Destruction of the African Black Civilization, Chancellor Williams. So that was my road. What about you, A-Rod? What was your road to?
What was my? I'm saying it again.
What was your road to understanding that what you was taught is not the way? What book was it?
It was a variety of books. In undergraduate, I was an Africana Studies major. So I had a professor named Dr. Floyd Hayes that was very influential and put me on to a lot of books in his Black popular culture and Black politics courses. I did papers like comparative analysis of the Black Panther Party and civil rights movements, and like comparing tactics and outcomes of those movements. For Black August, I revisited Revolutionary Suicide by Huey P. Newton, and I'll be picking back up Blood in My Eye this week since I just wrapped up Revolutionary Suicide. Yeah.
Nice. You see how you got to be somewhat privileged, and how many people aren't privileged enough to go to college to read something outside of what they were taught. Like, I didn't get it till I went to college, really, like reading outside of. And Jackie, you didn't go to college, right?
I went to college for a little while, didn't finish, but I disagree.
I don't think that's true, because some of the knowledge that I got, like, didn't come from. I guess I was speaking more formal.
Yeah, that's why I just asked you though. I said, what book was it? And you said college.
Well, that was a little bit more structured for me, but I mean, in Durham we had Minister Paul Scott. He recently passed away, but he made his life's mission was giving out books, and he would post up at bus stops at least 3 days a week for 2, 3, 4 hours a day, handing out books. And when the folks would come back through, they would have conversations about it. Young people, old people, people of all ages. And he would just go to every Friday, he would go to McKay's bookstore and load up on books about Black history and Black liberation. And he would share those books for free with the community. So, I have a little library that we're going to dedicate in his honor and put up somewhere with Black liberation books, related books, so folks can have them for free. So no, I don't think you have to go to college. I think college just gives you a structured way to think and analyze, but you don't need to go to college to get that information.
Yeah, maybe I wasn't asking.
Taco place and went to his house, and he had magazine clippings and newspaper clippings all over his wall about African history, and books stacked to the ceiling that he had read, and he can talk to you about anything related to Black history, African history. And he never went to college. I don't even know that he graduated.
I don't think it was the discussion was you got to go to college to get it. That's what I guess this person is saying. What I was trying to say. Okay. What led you to African studies? What book or event made you want to know more before you went to college? But what I was saying is I didn't learn anything about my history until I went to college. High school didn't teach me that. But go ahead.
Yeah, see, I learned a little bit in high school because I did go to, I went to high school in D.C. and in the 80s and the 70s and the 80s in Washington, D.C., in the public high schools in particular, in Southeast and in Northeast, blackety black teachers, principals, administrations, coaches, everybody. Mostly there was one or two like white folks sprinkled in here and there, but most were Black. All of my teachers throughout high school in DC, with the exception of 2, were Black.
Damn.
3.
That's great.
3 that I can think of. And it was actually one of the white teachers who gave me my first copy of the autobiography of Malcolm X. So I read that, and then I read Alex Haley's Roots, and let's see what else. Then I got into I was a frequent library kid. I was a library kid, so I was always in the library. So the librarian was like, "Oh, you like that? Oh, okay, good. Well, maybe you'll like this." And the next book was the one you mentioned,
Destruction of
Ear Doctor. Yep, that was it. And I was in like it was probably my first year, at 9th grade, I think. Because I 9th grade, and my teachers were because this was the end of 9th grade.
Damn,
this is my first year of high school, and the librarian was like, "Again, you're in here every."
That's definitely.
And I'm just reading a bunch of stuff, and toward the end of that year, she was like, "Okay, I see you like to read, and you're reading some pretty heavy stuff." Like I read the Iliad in the 9th grade. Because it was fascinating to me, and Beowulf, and all
you one of them smart little Negroes, huh?
Kind of. I was a smart ass kid. Yeah, I was a smart ass kid. And so my librarian kind of picked up on the fact that, oh, you really do like to read. Well, here, how about this? See how do you feel about this? And in the 10th grade, in the middle of the 10th grade. It was either the librarian or another one of my teachers. I cannot remember who recommended for me to read W.E.B. Du Bois's Black Reconstruction. And in the 10th grade, I got through half of it. And I was like, oh my God.
Did you ever have to read this one? The Miseducation of the Negro?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I read that. That might have been my senior year of high school, I think.
Yeah, you had a hell of a high school and around upbringing, because I went to a Catholic school in Jersey.
Oh no, they ain't gonna.
I went to a public school in Florida and in Alabama. You know they wasn't teaching us that shit down there, so I was like, shh. Yeah.
But you gotta understand, I also went to school, middle school, elementary school 1 year, and middle school in the South, in my hometown in Jarrett, and the completely different. What book? What books?
They teach
They
you how to
actually
work.
told us to read North and South. Yeah, the novel that the series North and South was based on.
That's your history, nigga.
yeah.
Take that.
And in middle school, I noticed that the textbook had the chapter, the part that was on slavery. It's 2 pages. It was 2 pages, and I'm looking. I'm like, is this it? Is this all? And that nice little Southern white lady was like, well, how much more do you want to be in the textbook for something that happened hundreds of years ago? And me and my silly ass, I'm like, well, 1776 happened hundreds of years ago too, and y'all still talking about that. A lot more than you're talking about. She kicked me out the class. I got in trouble.
And you, so A-Rob, in North Carolina, where you grew up there, right?
Yeah, I did. And I'm biracial. Like but I'm a Jared Ball biracial, not an Aubrey Drake biracial.
How was your teachers? Was there anything?
I had mainly white teachers.
Yeah,
but I was smart and in gifted classes, but I also didn't see a lot of non-white people in those classes. But I knew a lot of my peers were also exceptionally smart, and I didn't necessarily have the analysis for that, but I knew that something was wrong with that. And as I got older, I realized that there was nothing uniquely special about me. It's just that people were willing to pour into me, and probably because I am light-skinned and non-threatening looking. And so my teachers and social workers took the time to make sure I had what I needed to be successful. And because, my mom was incarcerated a lot when I was young. And I got the support that I know a lot of my peers did not have. Like when I was in high school, my high school helped me get a car, helped me get an apartment, helped me apply to school, and do a lot of things that I know if I look different, that I probably would not have had access to. And so I'm like acutely aware.
Wow. Yeah. You got that reverse DEI.
But,
He's like, I'm out.
I'm very aware that I was a safe white savior project for educators and people around. And so
you were credit to your race.
Both of them.
Right? They're like, no, she's on our side. No, she's on ours. That's wild. But
when I ran for office, they had a whole Rachel Dolezal thing about me on Reddit.
Wow. So that experience right there, so when you did it, what made you say, I'm never running again?
Well, I just realized that the limits of electoralism and how you either get consumed by the system or you get you get completely rejected, and if you're not in the right state of mind, like they will psychologically destroy you if you're not in line with the dominant thought process. And I just didn't feel like that was the best use of my skills and my talents. I ran to be a messenger and to platform ideas and to highlight issues and say things that people were not saying. And I felt like running for office would give me the platform to do that and the media attention to do that. I ran a social murder campaign that got news coverage. and educated people about how campaign donations are influencing the decisions on the local level and things folks were never really paying much attention to.
So is a radical mind in the political stratosphere, is it even going to happen, or are we wasting our time thinking that, we can get in there and change some stuff? Because you felt like you could change some stuff in this political.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No, I didn't. I ran specifically knowing that I could not. I was very clear about that from the beginning. Very, very clear about that from the beginning.
So it was just to prove a point.
It was to prove a point and to be educational and informative. And I proved the point. I got 11% of the vote, invested no money, and having no endorsements or anything. So, that the message got through to people. Mm-hmm. And I platformed socialism and started talking about socialist principles on a local level without capitulating and backing down. Like, I consistently said, defund the police, and did not walk that back. I did not have to say, because if you want to win, some things folks feel like they have to say. Some people feel like they have to say, we have to work with police and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I didn't feel attached to the outcome of the election, so I didn't feel like I had to capitulate on what was important to me.
So it's like the Green Party. You're not going to win, but you at least going to put your word out.
I don't.
I'm just saying, has the Green Party ever going to win? It's more about, this is our platform. This is what we stand for. We got a platform to say it, but we know we're not going to win.
I will abstain
from that one
once in my life. For once in my life.
I mean, for me, it's a little different because it's city council, it's nonpartisan and all of that. But yeah, I just saw the limitations, and I saw how people with good intentions who thought they were going to go in and get involved in groupthink and get pressured and don't want to be the odd person out and, get swept up into what's popular. And it's not all about like what the majority thinks. The majority of people thought slavery was okay. The majority of people think oppression of women is okay. The majority of people once thought all these things that we've grown to accept are not okay. We're okay. And you have to stand on it. Stand on what you believe sometimes, even if it's not favorable for you. And if your goal is to continuously get elected, then you have to make those constant compromises.
Okay, welcome to the Remix Morning Show, y'all. That's A-Rob. There's Jackie Lukeman. I'm the Ear Doctor, and I don't know.
I would encourage other people to run, though, to highlight what's
for
like.
What? I mean, for what?
Winning.
I mean, what are we?
It's not about winning. The same way it's the same reason.
Okay, I see what you're saying. It's not about winning.
You're not making money like Charlamagne makes, right? And DJ Envy doing the Breakfast Club, right?
Facts.
But you're still doing something that you feel is important and sharing a message that you think is important and reaching the people that need to be reached. So it's not all about being attached to a specific outcome that most people are attached to. So it's not about winning. It's not about getting in the seat. It's about using the platform, because when you're running for office, people are interested in talking to you and hearing what you got to say that I never want to hear what you got to say otherwise. You get in the paper, and what you say is going to get in the paper that would never have gotten in the paper otherwise. And other people are going to start paying attention and figuring out what you're talking about.
Yes, I like it. Ear Doctor for mayor. I don't like being on the schedule. Couldn't do it. All right. All right, we about to get to the end of the show. We got about 5 minutes to go. Jackie, what you got? What you got coming up on Darker Than Blue?
Ooh-wee. There's so much to talk about this week. I don't know what I'm gonna choose. I think I want to talk some more about socialism. I think, and one of the things that people say about socialism whenever you talk about socialism is who's going to pay for it. So I think Friday I want to talk about who pays for socialism. And what do we pay for here that we seem not to have a problem with, but we don't want to pay for people not to be homeless, but we don't have a problem paying for the stuff that we do pay for. So I think that's what I'm going to talk about Friday. And the fund drive, pledge drive is over. And thank y'all very much for your support. Exceeded my goals both weeks. Helped John Kane, Resistance Radio, exceed his goal. And we met our goal we went over our goal for the station for this pledge drive. So thank y'all. Appreciate you.
Right. Socialism tax, huh? Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, A-Rad, what you got coming up? Anything?
A-Rad.
A-Rad.
What
my bad. I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about Soulja Boy producer. My bad, A-Rad.
Oh no.
So Monday in Durham, our county commissioners are voting on a data center moratorium. And so I'm part of an initiative called the People's Table. And we try to show up at certain city council events outside and give out food and other information and supplies as sort of a visual demonstration that it's really the people who have the power and the people who are doing all the heavy lifting, filling in the gaps where the government isn't, and taking care of our folks. So we'll be outside, screen printing T-shirts live, giving out supplies, collecting supplies, clothes for a sustainable clothing drive, etc. And then I'll be going to London next week because my partner is actually in a Afro-Brazilian band called Batalá. It's like a international band, and they are doing carnival in Notting Hill. And so she will be representing Durham in the parade. So I'm going to go out there and be a part of that. And
so we won't see you next week then?
No, I'll be. Yeah, we're not leaving until that evening. So.
All right, cool. I just want to make sure you can come back again on Women's Wednesday so we can actually make this Women's Wednesday. Yes. All right. As you've seen before, make sure y'all tune in again tomorrow for 8 a.m. as we do another Remix Morning Show. And after that, 11, Kim Brown will be back next month. But right now, I have another DJ Rasuria, stepping in as we do a classical breakdown of Anderson .Paak's first debut album and Bilal's first album. What's your thoughts on that, A-Rob? I know you into the music. Either one?
I'm not really big on Anderson .Paak like that. I don't know a lot of his music. I love Bilal. He's come to perform down here a few times.
Trust me. Tune in the classical breakdown. You'll be a fan of Anderson .Paak's first album after you hear.
I got to spin some vinyl at Curb Fest down here a couple weeks ago, so that was cool.
Hey.
Okay, dope. But yeah, get on it for real. Stop playing. I went to go see that dude perform like a James Brown, like really electrifying the stage and singing and rapping and everything. I was like, God damn, this dude's bad. So anyway, but that's enough of me, enough of us. We are about to get up out of here. I'm the ear doctor. That's Jackie Loopman. That's A-Rob. This is the Remix Morning Show. Make sure y'all organize so we can rise. Peace out and have a good one. Yo. Black Liberation Media is a collective of Black and African organizers, journalists, academics, and media personalities serving Black and African masses seeking to further grow in their understanding of themselves, their histories, and the African world through entertainment and news. Please continue to like, subscribe, and donate to the channel so we can further serve you and liberate our people. You can also go to blkliberationmedia.org, get some merchandise, and also become a Patreon member and a member from the YouTube. Please do what you can, share, and show your love as we will show ours for you. Black Liberation Media.